What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television. I want to thank all of you for showing up, subscribing, liking, sharing. Only together can we go straight to the moon, baby. But today, I want to get into Absolute Batman number 12, the first full year of Batman closing up uh, the first line of stories in the Absolute Universe, and I tell you, this set up quite a number of different possibilities for the comic book and for the characters involved in this book and their paths to come. um, the breaking of the bat continues in this story, not only through Bane's physical beatings of Bruce, but the mental breaking of Bruce in his personal life with the people that are aligned with him. Okay. In this, we also see, starting to see that Bruce has in his spine access to the venom serum, the same venom that makes Bane as strong as he is. So, what type of effects will that have on Bruce's body, on Bruce's mind? We seem to have villains that are getting larger and larger for Bruce to fight anyway, or more menacing, you know. So, will this Venom help him take on these enemies quicker, more efficiently? And what's more important is what is the effect that the Venom is going to have on Bruce's psyche in the long run? You know what I mean? Is there going to be a time in his life that the venom stops? And what is that going to do to his body? So there's a lot of things that are happening with that, to that degree. But basically, um, Bane is seeing what's going to break on Bruce first, his body or his mind. And he's been breaking his body for sure, but it seems like Bruce's mind is less likely to be broken. And so basically, Bane is trying to find new ways to hurt Bruce's mentality, right? But while Bruce was out trying to rescue Waylon also out of out of Arkham, Bruce winds up going and like being taken care of Alfred for a few weeks as he's in and out of consciousness. We see his mother still, Bruce's mother still putting up not wanted signs, but like missing signs. And at this point, with how long he's been gone, in addition to, um, escaping, so to speak, Bane's hideout at Arkham, you know, Mrs. Wayne probably has put her mind to the fact that Bruce may be done somewhere, may be gone somewhere, and he's not of this world anymore, but she eventually does, uh, he eventually does come home and, basically apologizes to his mother about the stuff that, of not being around, letting her think. It's not like he was doing this on purpose, for sure he wasn't. But with everything going on, this should be a reminder to him that the difference between this Bruce and, say, the main continuity Bruce, the main universe Bruce, is that he Bruce never had parents to worry about him being out there in the public eye. He might have had girlfriends or Alfred even being concerned, but Alfred was always an intricate part of Bruce's origin also. Um, so it's interesting to see Bruce trying to be Batman with his mother still around, and there's going to be some interesting stories for her coming up in the next few months that I can't wait to get into, but I digress for right now. So, needless to say, that Mrs. Wayne is happy and relieved to see her son, but also must have a million bajillion questions to ask him. Whether she asks him or not is another story, but basically, what Bruce wants to do now is visit his friends, and everyone's like, "Oh, um, yeah, by the way," and he's like, What? By the way, what?" Bane totally disfigured and maimed basically Bruce's three best friends, Harvey, Oswald, and Ed. And to kind of see them crippled and disfigured in the way that Bane did it while Bruce was trying to play superhero, and then seeing what happened to Waylon, you know, Bruce isn't fully aware that at this point how much his actions was going to bring on consequences that he's never going to shake. Because what he did for Oswald, what Bane did to Oswald, was basically he crushed him so small that he compounded the bones on top of bones, leaving Oswald basically crippled for life, even if he was to fully heal. So to not well heal as much as his body can heal. He's been given that penguin, um, the classic penguin look that we're used to in the Bat books of the hunched back a little bit, smaller, because like literally he crushed him down so much that there's no way Oswald's ever going to be the same person after that attack. And to find out not only what Bruce was doing, but then for these men to be attacked the way they were, it's only going to lead to long term resentment towards Bruce and Batman, and it's going to eventually come to a head between him and his friends separately or together. Uh, Bane, what he did to Harvey Dent was basically burnt half of his face off, making him become Two Face. And then what he did to Edward Nigma was he blinded him and affected part of his brain. And now he's going to eventually become the Riddler. And he uses this device on his eyes and head in order to, you know, um, process information around him better because of him being a tech genius the way he is. So basically, it was three old school villains with new updated stories for this universe, and being Bruce's friends. It really adds to a unique view on these upcoming interactions that are going to happen. And now basically it's up to Bruce on what he's going to want to do against Bane, and eventually what is going to happen between him and his friends. I would assume that after these things happen, they don't really want to be associated with Bruce or be bothered with Bruce. So I just it's just going to be really interesting to see the falling out between this group of friends that have been friends since childhood, right? And now dealing with the ramifications of knowing Bruce's secret. And then on top of all that, here comes Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, coming around, and we'll have to see what she's looking for because she comes near the end of the issue. But that's where we're at right now with Absolute Batman and his friends. Again, the story's a little further along in real life. I'm just kind of going as I can here, but a really an issue that really sets up probably years of stories down the road. But we'll see what happens, starting with the immediate future, and see how this takes a hold and effect of everyone. I want you to tell me down below what you think of this issue. Are you do you think that these new origins are cool and are connected a little bit better, or did you like the old school origins of these characters? Let me know down below. Let me know what you think of the Absolute Universe. And until next time, peace, Snookums.